Morning. If you love somebody, then that means you need somebody. And if you need somebody, that's what makes you weak. But if you know you're weak, and you know you need someone, and oh, it's a funny thing, but that's what makes you strong. That's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. And that's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what moves our souls, and that's what makes us sing. And to trust somebody is to be disappointed. It's never what you wanted, and it happens every time. But if you're the trusting kind, that won't even cross your mind. And no, it's a funny thing, but that's what makes you strong. That's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. And that's what makes us smile in our final hour. That's what moves our souls, and that's what makes us sing. That's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. And that's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what moves our souls, and that's what makes us sing. That's what moves our souls, and that's what makes us sing.
Ooh, boy, another Sunday with amazing music. Are we blessed or what? One more clap. Thank you, Rich. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock. We are a welcoming and inclusive community. Please know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are invited to fully participate just the way you like to. My name is Kim Joswiak, and I'll be serving as your platform assistant today. When I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you guys, do you have weeks where like themes show up in songs, in people talking, in books you read, and you watch a movie and you're like, gosh, I must be learning something right now. And so, as you know, I'm taking the prerequisite classes through Unity Urban Ministries to enter the ministerial path of ordination. And I'm in my last two classes of the prerequisites. And then this fall, I start the actual ordination path, which is about 2 or 3 years. So these classes, they're called spiritual education and enrichment classes, and they're actually open to anybody who'd want to take them. You don't have to be on some sort of path. You can just learn kind of some of the basics of what Unity is all about. And one of the foundational tools or learnings is metaphysics, right? This is a metaphysical movement, the Unity movement. And they teach you how to look at the Bible through a metaphysical lens, which has just been delightful for me. So I'm going to use those tools that I've used those tools, that metaphysical lens to read through this story that many of us know from maybe even our childhood. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that came up for me. Now, it doesn't mean that that's the absolute truth. And that's what I love about metaphysics. You get to interact with text, and you get to decide what it means to you. And I mean, yeah, sometimes people can take things way too far. Like we see that in our world, right? They'll take a phrase and they'll beat people up with it. So we don't do that here, right? We go through a lens of love. So George, would you, or maybe I think Joe is in the ether. And he's doing there we go. Look at that, Joe. Thank you. So I'm going to read this parable, and then I'll talk about it. So this is from Matthew. It's chapter 13, verses 3 through 9. It says, listen, all right? A sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some of the seeds fell on a path, and the birds came and ate them up. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and they sprang up quickly since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and brought forth grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. If you have ears, hear. Now, I just want to set the scene. Jesus had started his ministry, and people were getting really excited about his words. So excited that he had to make room for more people, and he had to go out on a boat and preach from the boat as so many people were on the shore. There was literally no room. And I just kind of like that picture. So here everybody's seaside, right? And I don't know, they've got their picnic tables and maybe their picnic baskets, and they're listening, probably not, just I'm modernizing it, and they're listening to this profound teacher. And as I kind of played around with this, I did prayerfully, just kind of sat with the words, this is what came to me. So Jesus, what we're taught here at Unity, is our way shower. And when he tells a story in the New Testament, he tells it in parable form. And parable can have historical meaning, but it's very deeply symbolic. And the people at the time would have really resonated with some of the words he used. So he's telling the story of sower and seeds, and sowers those days didn't have machinery. So they literally sowed, right? They spread the seed by hand, and they had a big bag of seed, and they just spread the seed by hand. And humans sow. That's what we do. We spread things out and hope that they grow. It's in our DNA. We interact with the substance of this world, right? Every morning, I'm going to sow some seeds, metaphorically. That's what we do. We can't help it. So seeds represent potential. They are without, sun and soil and water, they stay seeds. You can have seed packets right in your basement for many, many years, and then, well, I don't know how many years. I guess at some point they don't work anymore. But they have the potential of becoming what they're meant to be. So seeds in the story are potential, and what they represent are ideas. So our ideas hold potential. They haven't made it out in the world yet. They haven't interacted with words, or maybe our ideas into art, or ideas into acting, or our ideas into writing. Seeds hold potential. Thoughts hold potential. So as the story here, some ideas don't go anywhere. They literally fall on the path right in front of us. And that those thoughts can be like in the morning, like when I wake up, I really know I should exercise. I've used this example so many times because I'm really trying to drill in me to go with that thought, to go with that potential. But I have an other potential also thought that's really warm and cozy in my bed and says, later on, I'll exercise this afternoon. I don't know where I get that idea. I never exercise in the afternoon, ever, ever. Like zero chance unless I've registered for something outside my house. So that thought, that comfort thought becomes larger. It's a bird of the air, and it comes in and it swoops in and it eats up that thought to exercise. So it's actually a progression if you look at this paragraph or parable. And now, secondly, there are some thoughts that have competing foundational beliefs. There's more rocks in the soil, what I'm trying to say, whatever that phrase is. And so, for example, I can have a core negative belief that I have held since my childhood that says I don't have enough. And though I want to change that, and I'm doing my affirmations every day, and I'm reading things and listening things about I have enough, I have plenty, I live in abundance. However, as in the parable, when the sun comes out and life heats up, if I don't have real deep roots in that belief that I have enough, guess what's going to win over? My foundational core belief. And so sometimes those foundational core beliefs need to really be worked out. Like we need to be very intentional where we start to recreate or rewire our thoughts. Other types of ideas grow with competing external environmentals. And what I mean by that is, let's say I believe I don't have enough, and I'm surrounded in a culture that believes they don't have enough. I see ads on TV that says if I get more, I'll be happy. I go out to the front lawn and see that guy has a Mercedes and I need a Mercedes. Or I'm just constantly inundated by, you don't have enough to be happy, you need more, so get more stuff and you'll have enough. So that is a very powerful, powerful entity. And those are the weeds, the thorns, right? Those are the weeds that are already planted there. These are well-rooted and habitual ideas that will choke out those thoughts that I want to have flourish. And lastly, ideas that are intentionally nurtured in the ground of my being, in my perception, my reality, when lovingly cared for, will root. And it will become food to feed other ideas in me that join up with, let's say I have enough. So maybe I start practicing prosperity principles and I start giving things away, to start practicing watching how the universe works. Or maybe I dwell upon how the trees in the fall let go of their leaves, but then they have leaves again in the spring. Or maybe I start reading words that really deeply affirm this principle. Or maybe I go get some therapy, because sometimes some of this stuff is based in trauma, right? That thinking that I don't have enough. And then when that starts to grow and nurture me, guess what? It becomes food. In that last example, those seeds become food. They become food for me to be nourished, and they become food for a community. So as I start to live and breathe these principles, I can start to transform my community. So what ideas are you casting out? Where is your focus? Here in this unity community, we help each other to develop spiritual practices, to nurture healthy ideas, to remove the rocks that block our growth, clear out thorny patches together, and grow ideas to benefit each other and ultimately the world. So I'd like to invite you just to a prayer. And we just together in gratitude remember how much we've been given. And note that we were born, or maybe not born here, but we are here, living here in the United States of America. With amber waves of grain, Purple Mountain majesty. You know, we hold deep truths, ancestor truths, that this planet gives us plenty. So what is ours to do to nurture that abundance that is already around us and near? How do we protect our beautiful interior gardens? So we invite acknowledgement of something greater than us. Some of us choose to call God, that manifests abundance in every moment of our lives. May we have ears to hear. And so it is. Amen. And if you would join me with the 5 unity principles. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. The Christ Spirit lives within me. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I experience God's presence and power through prayer and meditation. I put my faith into action by demonstration. I see that number 4, the principle 4, when we are in our inner space with all those thought seeds, this is where we can sit in silence and really experience the power that connects us all, and perhaps envision all the nutrients we need to create a beautiful, healthy thought life. I try to do that because I know I get pretty distracted pretty quickly. And so I do like to start my day with just grounding myself in that silence. And it's never totally silent, right? Because you have all the beautiful nature sounds, and sometimes in the winter you have the heater sounds or whatever. But just to maybe even hold some of those thoughts and go, where shall I plant you? And maybe some of the more troubling thoughts, where can I release you? Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock is a ministry based in prayer. You are invited to fill out a prayer request form at the prayer station right here next to the doors. The request will be prayed for over 30 days by our prayer team and by Silent Unity. You're also invited to light a candle in the back in memory of someone dear. Some of us have even lit candles for our beloved animals. It will be lit every Sunday during the service and extinguished at the conclusion. So your candle will be lit every single Sunday until it eventually goes out. We ask that you deposit a $2 donation in the receptacle below the candles to help us pay for those candles. So I'd like for us to thank our AV team, one that's present and physical, George Mulligano, thank you so much. And the one that's on the internet at home still recovering from a pretty serious virus, Joe Joswiak. And our outstanding music is being directed and performed by Rich Prezioso. Thank you.
You haven't heard this one yet. Come on now. Sometimes I stop and wonder, why can't I let myself enjoy the space I'm in and all the wonderful places I've been? My eyes are on the future. I can't think about the past. My aspirations always exceed my grasp. But you got to reach a little bit higher when the light within becomes a fire. Hey, hey, oh, oh, you got to grow. You got to reach a little bit higher to get a hold on all that you desire. Set your soul, you'll never grow. No, no. When the habits of a lifetime become a painful cage, you want to break out, but you don't know how to change. No, no. You may have a vision, you may have a friend who will come to you and say these words again. You got to reach a little bit higher when the light within becomes a fire. Hey, hey, oh, oh, you got to grow, got to grow. You got to reach a little bit higher to get a hold on all that you desire. Stretch your soul and you'll never grow. No. You got to reach a little bit higher when the light within becomes a fire. Hey, hey, oh, oh, you got to grow, got to grow. You got to reach a little bit higher, get a hold on all that you desire. Stretch your soul and you'll never grow. Stretch your soul and you'll never grow. All right, we sing this one together now. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always here. and every thought becomes a prayer, and every thought becomes a prayer.
I just invite you to go within, however you like to do that, whether it's closing your eyes or just softly gazing at something beautiful in this space. And I just invite you to notice the type of thought seeds that seem to be within you. And perhaps choose one thought seed. And I'd like you to just notice its potential. Now, if it's a thought seed that causes some sort of emotion, I'd like you to notice that too. When you think of this thought and its potential, where do you notice that in your body? Just breathe life and light into that thought seed. And perhaps it's a thought seed that you'd rather not have come into fruition. That's okay, just be curious. And perhaps it's a thought that's not new to you, but it's a thought that's been with you for a long, long time. That sometimes you act upon it and sometimes it remains dormant. That's okay too. And just notice how you feel toward your thoughts, those big thoughts, the ones that seem to crowd out all other thoughts. How do you feel towards those thoughts? If it's anything like judgment, can you have that judgment thought step back a little bit and give you a little bit of air and space and sunlight? What is it like on the inside of you? Perhaps look around. What kind of garden is it? Just notice that you have your own universe inside of you. You have your own universal garden that is like no other. Your particular thought seeds are yours. And they may grow into all different types of actions. And we need your thought seeds. We need your growth as a community. So continue just to let the light, the rain, the nutrients to have its way with you. For you are a spiritual being. You are an expression of the divine. Take a deep breath and let anything go that you really don't want in your garden. And so it is. Namaste. So I'm excited, and this is why. I got to read my little bio here. Hold on a second. So we have a special guest today. We have Marisa Snook. Her title of her talk is To Be or Not to Be, A Shakespeare Dream Realized. Marisa Snook is the president CEO of Corecubed, a niche marketing firm serving the care industry, as well as co-founder of Woodstock Shakespeare Players. She has been a resident of Woodstock with her husband for over 20 years with their 3 children. Marisa, come on up.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. That was Sonnet 18, written by William Shakespeare. In the poem, he describes how his love interest is different from the changeable ways of nature because although summer fades and people pass, the poem about his love will live on, keeping the memory of his love alive. It's just beautiful. Sort of paints a picture in your head and has a musical quality to it, doesn't it? See, this is how I fell in love with Shakespeare. Even at 12 years old, I brought the complete works of William Shakespeare to bed with me to read aloud in a hushed whisper by flashlight until my mother caught me and would say, "For goodness sake, go to bed." I didn't understand all of it, but in those pages were all of the human experience: love, lust, honor, loyalty, battles, glory, deception, betrayal. Even the world of fantasy, wizards and fairies and potions and witches. It was everything anyone could ever want in a story. But see, here's the thing about Shakespeare. It was never meant to be read. It was meant to be performed. Shakespeare's plays, in fact, weren't even fully written and published until 7 years after his death. Now, when they introduce Shakespeare in the classroom, typically in high school, people hate it. Teachers generally have you take the play and read it at home on your own. Sometimes they may have a classroom of reluctant students read portions aloud, typically in a flat monotone. "Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" Right? And if you were really lucky, you would get to watch one of the films, typically Romeo and Juliet, which is better, but let's face it, when you turn the lights out in a classroom, you typically end up with a lot of sleeping students. I longed to bring live Shakespeare to my fellow students to show them how truly wonderful these stories were. But my first chance to perform Shakespeare didn't come until my second year of college, when I moved to London, England for a semester of study abroad. We performed Henry V on Hampstead Heath and Romeo and Juliet from the famous ballerina Anna Pavlova's balcony. I was in heaven. But something was still missing. I was performing for people who already loved Shakespeare. I still had that calling inside me to show non-Shakespeare lovers just how relatable and modern and funny and fascinating Shakespeare stories really are. So fast forward to 3 kids, about 15 years and several cities later, and just as I'm getting back into theater, the pandemic hits. All live theater grinds to a screeching halt. But then a friend creates a virtual Shakespeare group where we spend long nights performing Shakespeare on Zoom for each other, and I make a lot of connections. One of whom tells me about how she used to run a Shakespeare in the Park program in the summers in McHenry. And we recognize in each other a common dream to bring free Shakespeare to the masses. And the seed of an idea is born. We tour all the places in the neighboring towns where we might be able to perform, and nothing seems like a right fit. All of it costs money. Neither of us has any money. The obstacles seem insurmountable. So we move on to other projects, not giving up, but biding our time for the right opportunity. By this time, I was working with the Woodstock Opera House's resident theater company, Theater 121, helping them to plan their next season of shows. And on the docket for consideration is none other than Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. The season goes up for a vote by the board members. And to my great joy, Much Ado wins the vote by 1. And I am buzzing with excitement. But then one board member says, hold up. This is a terrible decision. I don't like Shakespeare. There is no way we're going to make any money with a Shakespeare show. It's going to ruin us. No one in our community wants to watch Shakespeare. So she calls for a revote, and Much Ado gets voted down, and Three Musketeers takes its place. My mouth was agape. I was speechless. I was red in the face, mad. But you know what? Sometimes all it takes to refuel a dream is for someone to tell you that you can't, that you're crazy, that it won't work. Because if you are half as stubborn as I am, when someone tells you no, you come back with, watch me. So my Shakespeare buddy Angie and I asked for a meeting with the Opera House director at the time, Daniel Campbell, and we pitched the idea of a homegrown Shakespeare in the Park company, thinking, maybe if we're lucky, they'll allow us to have 1 performance in the square in like a year. Instead, Daniel gives us the green light to perform not just 1, but 3 performances in the square that summer. It's already mid-March, but it's our opportunity. We're both involved at the time in 3 other productions and out of our mind busy, but it's our opportunity. And when you have been nursing a dream for over 30 years and your opportunity comes around, it doesn't matter if the timing's terrible. You take that opportunity. And suddenly we have less than 2 months to create a company, design a logo, write a script, find a production team, and get the word out that there's a new theater company in town. Angie and I recruit a 3rd partner, Jason, who has performed Shakespeare in Los Angeles and is, he's a Shakespearean savant. So we start brainstorming a script. How can we introduce Shakespeare to a community that maybe hasn't experienced it live ever before? We decide to cobble together snippets of various Shakespeare plays with bits of modern humor and showcase how prevalent Shakespeare stories are in the films and TV shows that we watch. The Lion King, Hamlet, Succession, King Lear, West Side Story, Romeo and Juliet. We invite 6 directors to each direct a chunk of the show, and we announce our company and auditions on social media, the Woodstock Shakespeare Players. We receive an overwhelming flood of support from our community almost immediately. We really had no idea that people would be so interested in helping us out. We have more people interested in working with us than we can possibly accommodate. It just goes to show that sometimes when you have a heart for something, you just have to find your audience. But it was far from smooth sailing from here. We lose 2 directors, we lose our script writer, but we keep pushing forward, we must. We hold auditions without a script and cast the show. We lose 1 more director and an actor and decide to cut our season down to 2 shows instead of 3, because sometimes you just have to adapt to circumstances and get creative if you want something to happen. But we never lose sight of our main goal. Angie writes the script. We still have no money. I haven't told my husband how much this is costing us. I just keep believing that the money will come. I'm not losing sight of the dream. We rehearse at the library, my garage, Emmerickson Park, at Unity Spiritual Center. And then my neighbor, who was like a grandfather to my children, gets hit by a drunk driver while walking his dog, and both he and his dog die from their injuries. It's devastating, and I struggle to focus on the show and our mission. But I have to go pick up my daughter from England. She's finished her degree in theater and film. Yes, she caught the bug, just like her mother. And she needs help packing up 3 years of her life to return to the US. So I go to London and visit the Globe Theatre. This is a recreation of the theater where Shakespeare performed his plays, and it's in the exact spot where the original Globe Theatre used to stand. They're performing A Midsummer Night's Dream, and half the audience is standing in front of the stage, just like they did during Shakespeare's time. Groundlings, they call them. And I breathe in the air in the same place where Shakespeare breathed, and I listen to the audience laugh and catcall and applaud for more, and I am inspired. My spirit is filled with emotion, and I return home ready to fully realize my dream of making my community fall in love with Shakespeare. The tide starts to turn. Everyone's having fun. The show is coming together. We run a GoFundMe, get a little cash. We get a show opportunity in Sharon, Wisconsin. Please bring live theater to our little community, they say. When we rehearse in the park, people stop to watch. And it's a wide variety of people. Tough motorcycle dudes, children dragging their parents' hands to check it out, seniors sitting on the park benches to watch, teenagers walking by and stopping on the sidewalk, transfixed. It's magical. It's the power of Shakespeare. The first performance fills the park. People are packed further back than they can possibly see. The woman who voted the show down at Theater 121 comes and brings her husband and 2 small children. They loved it. I've never had so much fun watching Shakespeare before, she says. People shake our hands, thanking us after each performance. Please bring this back next year. Our community needs this. And then, at the last show, Daniel Campbell, the Opera House director, attends. Afterwards, sweat pouring off my body, I say to him, "So, how'd you like it?" "Well, it wasn't what I expected, but actually it was better. Let's talk about how we can help you bring it back next year." And the headline in the newspaper for the full-page article about us had a quote from one of our audience members as the title, and it read, "I guess I do like Shakespeare after all." This year, we have the full backing of the Woodstock Opera House as co-producers of our show. We're working at becoming a 501c3 nonprofit company. We have a brand new script and a troupe of actors to perform, and we have big dreams to bring live Shakespeare into the high schools to show students from their very first interaction with Shakespeare how much fun it can be. So I hope you'll join us this summer for our 2nd season of Woodstock Shakespeare Players. We'll be performing at the Woodstock Square the last Saturday of July and the first 2 Saturdays of August at 6 p.m. Thank you for listening.
This is a song by a songwriter named Dana Cooper. There goes me, giving in easily, trying too hard to please, soft in the middle, faithlessly, chickening out on me, blaming the big machine, hurdling riddles, frightened and little, standing in my own way. Here am I, questioning where, how, why, watching my life go by. I don't want to blow it, contrary me, begging to disagree, making mistakes in three, wrong and I know it, too proud to show it, standing in my own way, standing in my own way, doomsayer, you and that satisfied grin, out of my way, betrayer, don't be so darn sure you win. We are through. You had room for two. Let's do that again. We are through. I haven't room for two. I'm stepping right over you. Open that front door, 'cause here I come, banging my broken drum, chasing the grinning sun. I'm winning this old war. There will be no more standing inside of my way. There will be no more standing in my own way. Standing in my own way. Standing in my own way.
Thank you, Marisa. Thank you so much. You're a born speaker. Well, of course, you've got all that theater background, so being in front of people is probably not that hard, is it? Still, it's still hard. Isn't that amazing? I hear that from performers, that it can still be hard. And thank you, Rich, too. I have to say, none of us got together and really had any idea. I mean, we had maybe the title of your talk, and isn't that amazing? The stuff was like, and this happens every Sunday. I watch it. Music goes with words, goes with the speaker, and it's just divine order, right? Yeah. So, okay, let me get back to the program. Get to the right page here. We welcome your gifts and donations. You are invited to give a fair percentage of your income to support everything we do here. If you're online, you can go to unitywoodstock.org and click on the donate button. Here at Unity Spiritual Center of Woodstock, we are self-supporting. The percentage of your income goes directly to the services and events and this building that you help create, you sustain, every single one of you here. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. If you're in the sanctuary with us, please take out your gift and place it in your hand. As we bless your gift here, and those of you at home, hold your gift in your heart. We will acknowledge these blessings with a prayer. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. The greeters will gratefully accept your gift at this time. Visitors may also deposit their contact card in the offering bag, and please do not feel obligated to contribute as you are our guest for the day. For these gifts and all of you givers, we say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Now we are going to talk about announcements. And you will see that. There we go. Thanks, Joe. It just kind of cracks me up. So, World Peace Day volunteers. I just want to say a quick thing about World Peace Day. Talk about a seed idea, right? That was a seed idea of Reverend Mary Patrice Went. It caught fire for her. Woo, did that lady have a passion for it. And she created World Peace Day in the Woodstock Square. And this is our third year, right? Yeah, and it just gets bigger and better. Oh, we're so excited to be a part of it. And today, Lori has gained. She's the one that's now directing our stuff, our work. Thank you, Lori. And Mary too. Both are carrying the mantle. World Peace Day volunteers. If you're a volunteer for World Peace Day, there's a T-shirt sign-up deadline next Sunday, July 13th. The sign-up on the bulletin board is in fellowship. It says Kim is going to collect the $10 today, but actually Mary is going to collect the $10 today. And Mary is sitting right over here. So if you want a T-shirt, it's only $10. Today is summertime potluck. And even if you forgot it was a potluck or you didn't bring a food for the potluck, please join us. We always have so much food. We like food here. Friday, July 11th is our Higher Self Healing Experience at 6 p.m. There's more information on Facebook and also on our website. If you've never experienced, please come. I got to experience it, and there is something that happens. It is deeply healing. Kylie is very gifted at what she brings to that. Saturday, July 12th, our Christ Mind Study Group. It's live and on Zoom. And again, you can go to our event page for more information. Sunday, July 13th, we are going to have a guest speaker, and it's going to be our Kylie Phillips. It's also Planet Palooza, yay. Is there anything Mary or Stan want to say about that? Or?
We need one volunteer in the morning.
Okay.
9:30.
We need one volunteer in the morning at 9:30 for half an hour. Perfect. And then we need someone to take down the stuff. Okay. So yeah, talk to Mary or Stan. Thursday, July 17th, our Unities men are up to it again. going to have some good food, good fellowship. If you identify as being male, join them. Saturday, July 19th, free for all, 9 a.m. This is like a garage sale, but nothing, it doesn't cost anything. It's free. It's very fun. And also, if you need stuff to get out there in the world to circulate, bring it, and it will go to somebody who will love it. We've also, the ladies like to have fun too, so if you identify as a female, join us for our McHenry outing at 1:15. There's information on Facebook and our event page. July 20th, we have a service. That's our youth ministry Sunday, and it's also Where the Rain location for the Woodstock Folk Festival, but if it's not happening here, it's happening out there, which is kind of fun. Tuesday, we have a board meeting, 22nd board meeting, Christ Mind group again. Okay, July 27th, you're not going to want to miss this. It's a really important ministry meeting. We're having a discussion and a presentation of what we're kind of going through right now financially. You're not going to want to miss it. That's it for the announcements. I'd like to also remind you that we do have a prayer chaplain on the premises. Jackie is sitting right over here, and if you need prayer, go to her. She'll pray with you, and you'll feel fantastic afterwards. So I invite you to stand and join for the prayer for protection and the peace song. All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and so it is. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let's walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Sometimes I stop and wonder, why can't I let myself enjoy the space I'm in, and all the wonderful places I've been. My eyes from the future, I can't think about the past. My aspirations always exceed my grasp. But you got to reach a little bit higher when the light within becomes a fire. Hey, hey, oh, oh, you got to grow. You got to reach a little bit higher. Get a hold on all that you desire. Stretch yourself soul, and you never grow old. You got to reach a little bit higher when the light within becomes a fire.